The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its non-member allies, a group known as OPEC Plus, announced a major production cut of 2 million barrels per day starting from November. Now, the cut is being seen as an effort to bolster oil prices that have recently tumbled over fears of a recession, and the reduction equals to around 2% of this year's global oil demand, which OPEC estimated to be at around 100 million barrels per day. Both the West Texas Intermediate and the Brent crude oil prices dropped from around $90 a barrel in early September to about $80 a barrel last week, amidst growing fears of an economic slowdown and demand contraction. Now, both benchmarks stood at over $120 a barrel back in June. However, crude oil prices bounced back the last few days as speculation grew of a potential huge production cut by OPEC+. Now, OPEC and non-OPEC oil producers agreed to extend their cooperation deal to the end of 2023. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden calls the decision by OPEC Plus to cut oil production a disappointment and says the White House is exploring alternatives. Now, the comments come as major oil-producing countries led by Russia and Saudi Arabia decided to slash the amount of oil they deliver to the global economy. And judging by the law of supply and demand, this can only mean higher prices are on the way for crude, diesel, gasoline, and heating oil.
Disappointment, and we're looking at what alternatives we may have. Don't hurt him, man. You're knocking him through the wire. There's a lot of alternatives. We haven't made up our mind yet.
Will you meet President Putin at the G20 summit or APEC summit to talk about Ukraine and Russia?
That remains to be seen. No, the trip was not essentially for oil. The trip was about the Middle East and about Israel and rationalization of positions. But it is a disappointment, and it says that there are problems.